We are working in the real number system. The real number system is comprised of rational numbers, which includes integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers, and irrational numbers. Together, irrationals and rationals make the real number system. The key word in rational, remember, it's ratio. This includes terminating decimals, repeating decimals. Real numbers are either rational or irrational. A number cannot be both rational or irrational. Today, we will be subtracting rational numbers. And again, rational numbers, ratio, is a comparison of two numbers by division. You may want to try to do this problem because if you can, this is the goal. Can we answer a problem that looks like this? So you may want to try it and then you can see where you went wrong. Or maybe you got it right. Who knows? So let's see. Most people get this particular problem wrong. I'm about to show the answer, so pause the video if you don't want to see the answer and you want to try it before I start the lesson. By the end of this lesson, I'll be able to subtract rational numbers with unlike denominators with borrowing and negatives. How does knowing your math facts help in reducing fractions and finding the GCF and the LCM of two numbers? In our last lesson, we learned how to subtract a number consisting of a whole number and a proper fraction called a mixed number or a mixed fraction. Today, we'll use what we learned about adding, subtracting integers and extend these properties to mixed numbers. Step 1, we're going to write the opposite of the problems with a negative solution. Step 2, rewrite fractions with the same denominator by finding the LCM. Step 3, borrow from the whole. Step 4, subtract numerators only. And step 5, reduce fractions to simplest form. When we see a problem like such, 12 minus 4 and 3/8, we're going to borrow from the whole. This will make the 12 become 11. And remember, one whole is worth 8/8. 11 and 8/8 is equal to 11 plus 8/8, which is equal to 11 plus 1, which is 12. So we just rewrote 12 as 11 and 8/8. Now we can subtract. 8 minus 3 is 5/8. 11 minus 4 is 7. Our answer is 7 and 5/8. The opposite of the opposite is the same. Say we have a car on the right side and we want it to be on the opposite of the opposite side. So the opposite side would be on this side of the road. And then the opposite of this side of the road is right back to where we began. So remember, the opposite of opposite is the same. Let's use this property when we are subtracting fractions. Notice 9 is less than 18. We're going to have to rewrite this as 18 and 1/12 minus 9 and 5/12. One key mistake people do is not bringing the 1/12 up with the 18 and bringing the 5/12 down with the 9. It should look like this. But we're rewriting it as the opposite of that problem. The actual problem was 9 and 5/12 minus 18 and 1/12. We're writing it as 18 and 1/12 minus 9 and 5/12. Therefore, we have to write the opposite of opposite. That's why we have that negative. Make sure you write the negative because then if you don't, you're actually just getting the opposite answer. The opposite of 2 is -2. The opposite of -2 is 2. The opposite of the opposite is the same thing. Once we have that done, we could begin to subtract. We're going to borrow from the 8. The 8 will become a 7. We're going to add 1 whole to 1/12. And remember, 1 whole is 12/12, which gives us 1/12 plus 12/12, which is 13/12. 13 minus 5 is 8/12. And remember, the shortcut is simply add the denominator to the numerator. That's going to give you your new term. Well, 17 minus 9 is 8. 8 and 8/12. But don't forget, 8/12 is not in simplest form. We can factor out a 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And we have ourselves 8 and 2/3. But Remember, it's negative 8 2/3. So since I had the negative here from the beginning, I'm not going to forget it. Most people will forget to write that negative when they write the opposite. It's the opposite of the opposite. Let's try this problem on your guided notes. 7 5/13 minus 12 9/13. Bring the 9/13 up with the 12 and the 5/13 down with the 7. And don't forget to write that negative. Now we can subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4/13, and 12 minus 7 is 5. 4 and 13 are in simplest form, so we're done. Let's take a look at a more challenging example. Again, 11 and 20. 11 is less than 20. So we're going to write the opposite of opposite, which is 20 and 1/6 minus 11 and 2/9, but we have to have that negative. Notice that 6 and 9 are not like, so we do not have like fractions, so let's make them like by factoring out 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3. The fraction that has a denominator of 6, we're going to multiply the top and bottom by 3. The fraction with a denominator of 9, we're going to multiply top and bottom by 2. This leaves us with 3/18 minus 4/18. But notice 3 is less than 4, so we're going to borrow from the 20. That's going to give us 19, and we're going to add 18/18 to 3/18, which would give us 21/18. 21 minus 4 is 17/18, and 19 minus 11 is 8. But our answer is not 8 and 17/18. It's negative 8 and 17/18. Let's try to do this particular problem on your guided notes now. Again, notice that 9 is less than 15, so we're going to write the opposite of the opposite. But please do not forget to write this negative down. We again notice that 8 and 12 are not like, so we have to make the mixed numbers into like fractions. We're going to factor out a 4. If you stated 2, then you would have to repeat the 2. But in this case, 4 is the greatest common factor. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3. The fraction that has a denominator of 8, top and bottom will be multiplied by 3. And the fraction that has a denominator of 12, we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. This leaves us with 21 over 24 and 10 over 24. 21 minus 10 is 11 over 24. 15 minus 9 is 6. Our answer is negative 6 and 11/24. And our last problem we'll attempt is right here. Notice that 2 is less than 9. So we're going to write the opposite of the opposite. But when you do this, make sure you are writing the opposite of the opposite. That negative must be dropped down. 18 and 12, we're going to change those so we can have the same denominator, a common denominator. In this case, the least common denominator. We're going to factor out a 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 12 divided by 6 is 2. The fraction with a denominator of 18, we're going to multiply top and bottom by 2. The fraction with a denominator of 12, we're going to multiply top and bottom by 3. This leaves us with 10 over 36 and 21 over 36. Notice that 10 is less than 21, so we're going to borrow from the 9. The 9 will become an 8. And we're going to add 36, 36, because 1 whole is 36 over 36. Shortcut is just adding 36 plus 10. This gives us 46 over 21. When we subtract, we're left with 25 over 36. 8 minus 2 is 6. The end. Thank you for watching the video.